friends, it's good to see you today. Today is Father's Day, a day we celebrate all the dads in our lives. Our friends Diamond and Divine have drawn some really great pictures that include their dad, and so I want to show them to you this morning. Take a look. Aren't those great? Thank you so much, guys, for sharing those with us. So to tell you today the story about how God's family continued to grow, I'm going to be using a Bible called the Jesus Storybook Bible. Every story whispers his name is what it's called. The pictures are beautiful and the words are wonderful. And so I hope you'll enjoy them. Take a look. Jacob had 12 sons, but of all his sons, Joseph was his favorite. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a splendid new robe. It was beautiful and rich with all the colors of the rainbow. But it made Joseph's brothers jealous. They wanted rich rainbow robes too. Then, to make matters worse, Joseph kept on having these special dreams. "I dreamed I was the greatest. I was king," Joseph told his brothers, "and all you bowed down to me." Joseph's brothers hated him even more. They wanted to kill Joseph and his dreams. And one day, they tore Joseph's rainbow robe off him and sold him to slave traders for 20 pieces of silver. The traders took Joseph to Egypt and made him into a slave. The brothers went home and lied to their father, telling him that Joseph was dead. That's the end of that dreamer, they thought. But they were wrong. God had a magnificent dream for Joseph's life. And even when it looked like everything had gone wrong, God could use it to help to make the dream come true. God would use everything that was happening to Joseph to do something good. Meanwhile, though, things were not looking good for Joseph in Egypt. He was far from home, and far from his dad. Then he got blamed for something he didn't do. And even though he had done nothing wrong, he was punished and thrown in jail. But God had not left Joseph. One night, Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had a scary dream about thin cows gobbling up fat cows. He didn't know what it meant. But Joseph was a dream expert. So Pharaoh sent for him. "It means a famine is coming," Joseph explained. "There won't be enough food." Pharaoh was so pleased by Joseph's skill that he immediately took Joseph out of jail and made him a prince. Now, back home, Joseph's brothers had run out of food and everyone was hungry. God's special family was in danger. So Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt to buy food. They came and knelt before the new prince. His brothers didn't know that that was Joseph. The new prince was Joseph. But Joseph knew who they were. Joseph's dream, the one about his brothers bowing down to him, it was happening. It was coming true. "It's me," Joseph cried. When they saw it was Joseph, his brothers were afraid. Now, Joseph would certainly punish them. But Joseph looked at his brothers, and his eyes filled with tears. Even though his brothers had hurt him and hated him and wanted him dead, in spite of everything, he couldn't stop loving them. His heart, which they had broken, was filled up with love. And he forgave them. Joseph threw his arms around them and said, "Don't be afraid. Behind what you were doing and underneath everything, God was working for my good. God was making everything right again. Joseph didn't punish them. He rescued them. He brought God's special family to live safely with him in Egypt. God's plan is big. God's dream is big. And I wonder if even when Joseph couldn't tell, like when he was sold by his brothers, God was still there. Or when Joseph was thrown in jail, well, God was still there. And God was still working. Or maybe when his family didn't have enough to eat, God was still there. God was still working. And God continued to work in that great family. God's always there. God's always working in God's plan and God's dream for you and for me and for all of God's children. I wonder what part of the story you like best. I wonder if you were in the story. Were you one of the brothers? Were you Joseph? Were you the dad? Were you the Pharaoh? Where were you in the story? I wonder what you heard God say to you in this story today. I wonder if God has ever given you a dream. Love to hear about it. Let me know what you're thinking. Would love to hear how you reflect on this story. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon and that you're staying safe and being careful, having fun, and trusting that God is working in all of this. God's plan and God's dream for you is so big and so great. Friends, I love you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye now.